Call meeting to order. First item is the approval or disapproval of minutes of the October 15th meeting, which I believe are in your packet.
Janet, do you need those? I don't.
Yeah. No worries here. I'll let you. We're good. No.
I'll make sure. I'll be back.
I move we approve the minutes from the October 15th, 2014 City of Alva Tourism Tax Committee meeting.
I have a motion to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Then moved and seconded to approve the minutes.
Carrie? Aye. Janet? Aye. Kelly?
Aye.
Henry?
Aye. Motion passed. Next item is the approval and disapproval of financial reports.
As you looked in your packet, some of you weren't here at the last meeting. We did a new setup on the financials. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I did give you, and I explained that to you guys as you walked in, a new sheet that breaks down that information on your financials. It says the budget balance is $228,022, and so what I did was took out showed you your obligations, 500 future, 2,500 standing, which leaves you $194,342 available budget balance. If you'll look at the last page of your financials, the last page looks blank, but the page before that, which would be page 4 of your financials, you'll look at the items that have been paid out, and there is a duplicate that you'll see for $1,294.38. What happened was we needed to void that first check. It was made out to the wrong person, and you'll see it again as the fourth item down for the same amount. So your new balance on that sheet will be $25,133.38. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What do you mean by available budget balance?
What I did was take your budget, your original budget, balance that I have gotten from Jodan, $310,000. And then your available budget balance that you have not spent is $228,022.
Okay.
So then I took that and subtracted your obligations, leaving you with that $194,342.
So basically, instead of showing our cash balance on here, you're showing us
what's left of your budget balance. And if you want to know your total,
well, you just need to subtract that $25,000.
Yeah. On your front page, your page 1, your cash and investment balances, you could add those two numbers together, which you had on the original sheet that I gave you, that I took away.
400.
Yes.
The 461.
Yes.
400,061.
Yes. And if you'd like to see both those, I can do that on the next one. 473,287.13 was the total cash, and then so I just, instead of giving you that total, I gave you the amount in your budget.
Okay, so actually we have money, other than the CDs, we actually have money in two accounts. We have an account specifically designated as the hotel tax bank account, and then I assume
that will go away.
Okay.
He's waiting to make sure, that's going to go away.
He's just going to roll that into the pool cash
Yes,
bank.
that will be rolled into that.
That's our share of the pool cash account.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was what you had for years, and when they went to the pooled cash, that account is just still sitting out there, and it will go away.
Yeah, which simplifies the city accounting by about 50% by having a pooled account.
Sure.
Okay.
And I was going to tell you that as well. That $653 in that hotel tax bank account, that bank account will then
Next month.
probably be gone. So. Any other questions?
I move we approve the financial report as presented.
I I have a motion to approve the financial report as presented.
Second.
Second. On that, thank you, Terry.
Janet?
Aye.
Henry?
Aye.
Kelly?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Motion passed. The next item on the agenda is approval or disapproval of funds for the Northwest Oklahoma Showcase Circuit.
You're up.
You're up. Must be Alan.
I am. I assume you guys have had our application and a chance to look over our financials. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Alan Poe. I don't know, I guess you could call me the treasurer, secretary of the organization. There is a board of directors that we've used since the conception of the Northwest Oklahoma Showcase Circuit, and they've stayed constant the entire time. Just to kind of give you a little bit of a brief overview, I mean, that's kind of a name, if you're not associated with livestock or showing, you probably have no idea what that's about. But basically, it's a member organization that was formed, and the whole goal behind it was to host shows in Northwest Oklahoma that students could show their livestock projects at prior to their county, district, and Oklahoma City livestock shows. You know, in years past, there was a lot of these shows to go to, and just over time, how things have changed, there was less and less people hosting those shows, and so a student would buy a project, and there really wasn't an opportunity to exhibit that project until we got all the way to the very end of February, 1st of March, to our county shows and district. And so in order to do this, basically someone had to step up and say, hey, we're going to put together these shows, and it's just simply an organizational feat to do that, and we're going to do it in a circuit standpoint so that we can keep points, and hopefully that will increase our following among all the shows and make the number of entries we have at each one of them be a little more consistent. Operates very similar to what a rodeo association would. You know, each individual show may be ran by a different group of people, but it's actually all part of one circuit and one points organization. If you'll see on the financials, basically we have a couple forms of income. I mean, it's we have a membership fee that you pay to be a part of the association. Everyone that shows at the shows has to pay that membership fee. And what that does is a couple of things. I mean, that is our basis for establishing a budget to operate the year from. And that is also a way that we can do things and apply for money like this, because that way we have money in an account to spend and then ask for reimbursement. So that's kind of why that membership form was, or membership money was set up. They get, each student gets a t-shirt, a few things just to entice them, you know what I mean, to want to be the member of that show. But this year we've got 5 shows scheduled. We'll be having a show at Moreland, Enid, Kingfisher, and Alva is the hope. And that's 4 locations. We actually have a 2-day show in Enid. And we traditionally have a 2-day show in Woodward. Woodward's fairgrounds this year are under construction, and so that's why we've moved that show to Moreland. We actually go before Woodward's board, very similar to this, for the same thing and ask for money. And they basically worked with us this year because this will be the 5th year that we've went to them, and they said, hey, it's a great organization, it keeps growing. If you'll have it in our county, we'll go ahead and give you the money because you're still going to come stay in our hotels and everything. So we moved that show to Moreland this year. Next year, it'll move back to Woodward. Enid, we started a 2-day show there last year. We were doing on Fridays and Saturday. We did a Friday night show. We had so many numbers last year, we didn't get out of there until 2 o'clock in the morning. And so we've changed that. Now we do a Saturday, Sunday show. But in my reasoning for telling you that, I guess, is that's the hope for eventually someday we can do it Alva. We're going to try a 1-day show this year. It'll be the first time we've ever hosted a show in Alva. And if our numbers are good and everything works great, we would like to have a 2-day show. Our biggest holdup on Alva 2-day show is simply facility. I mean, we do have a nice fairgrounds. It's not as conducive for housing livestock overnight as far as room, number of pens. These shows are in the winter. The barn's really cold, and so that's our biggest hurdle on the 2-day show here in Alva. But eventually, that is our goal, we'd like to have 3 locations with a 2-day show, but for now, we're going to host one here in Alva and see how that goes.
Since you organized in 2008, how many shows have you had since 2008?
I'd have to count them up for sure, but I think the fewest we had in a year was 4.
It's approximate. I mean, you can give me a range.
Basically, we've had about 40 shows.
About 40 shows? Okay. What other revenue sources do you have among all the shows that you don't have here?
Like I said, our Woodward Tourism Convention Bureau pitches in for the Woodward show. The Enid Visitor Bureau, we get funds from them to host a show in Enid. And then we also get funds from Kingfishers, where we host our other single-day show from them. So those funds, just like I'm asking for here, are devoted to those individual shows. And the funds that I have listed as far as like our membership fee, we divide those among the shows.
Okay. Is the amount that you're asking here greater or less than what you've asked from Kingfisher, Woodward, and Enid?
It would be less than Woodward, very similar to Enid, and it would be more than Kingfisher. And some variables go into that.
Enid was a 2-day show.
Yeah, that's what I'm
The
saying.
ones were 1-day shows, and you're asking for more money. What's the reason you're
Right.
asking?
No, I'm glad you asked that, because Enid is changing to a 2-day show, and or it did last year. We tried that. I'm actually going to meet with Enid here in the coming weeks, and so I guess what we're going to ask for and what we've got in the past hopefully will be a little bit different. But if you look over there at items that are expenses, for instance, pin rental, we've got $500 on there. We don't have to rent pins at any of those other facilities. That's one thing. As far as facility cleanup, those facilities actually have prisoner labor to do that. We don't have to hire anybody to help us with that. And so there's a few just, basic services that we are a board of directors and we host these shows, but we really don't have a labor force to do those type of activities.
Okay. Well, for the last 2 years, you said you've averaged 438 SWAN entries per show, but on your request for funds, you only have 350 entries. Why the 88 head difference there?
Basically, 2 reasons. One is it's a conservative estimate. It's the first time we ever hosted a show in Alva. Don't know how it's going to go. The other reason is our other 1-day show in Kingfisher is closer to that 350 mark, with our other, like Woodward and Enid, have been bigger, and so that's swayed the average a little bit.
And on your expenses, you had this e-blast, banner ad, web advertising, pen res, admin. Can you kind of explain, expound a little bit exactly what
Basically,
it is, so I can understand a little bit?
Yeah, we use a group that's called Milligan Ventures, and they are basically in the online marketing business to help us in this endeavor. And basically, they work in the livestock industry, livestock marketing. They've got a really big, basically, e-blast list, and so we went to them and said, hey, we want to get our information out quickly. And we decided to do everything through them because they are associated with the business and know the understandings of it. So the e-blast is simply that. We send an e-blast out before every show, explaining entry times, when the show is, where the show is, who's judging the show, those kind of things, to gain interest from it. And then on our banner ad, basically they have a website, and it's called OklahomaShowPigs.com. And that's basically the source for everyone in Oklahoma. Pretty well uses that to go to, and we put a banner ad on there. And from that, we link our website that has our membership form. We also put all the logos of our sponsors, for instance, Woodward, Enid, those things on there. And they do that for us. The web advertising is part of that flyer that they make us. And it's all one package deal. basically last year, that's what it cost us, was $850. You know what I mean? And we did that. And pin reservation admin is the only thing that's a little different. Last year was the first time we ever did pin reservations. And basically, we fought it for a long time because the group of us that does this, I mean, I don't mean to sound corny, but we did it as a service to the communities and whatnot. We don't make any money off of it. And we fought it because I didn't want to charge the kid another $5 or something. You know, it's they've got to pay membership, they pay an entry fee and this and that. But it came down to the physical nature of our shows got so big and we had so much interest. All of a sudden, you tell people you're opening a barn at 5 o'clock the night before the show, and there's trailers backed up and only half the people got a pin. You know, and so we went to the pin reservation system. The only way to deter someone from reserving all the pins that they wanted was to charge a little bit for it. Now, what we have done with that money is we've returned it back into the shows and paid it out. But that's also a number that can vary. I put on there 140 at $5 a pin. That's what we've charged in the past. 140 is the approximate number of pins that Woods County owns that we will get to use with our facility rental. Now, I have put a request in here to rent additional 100 pins. If we are able to rent those pins, we would actually have more revenue generated. You know, another 500. Well,
I've got a couple more questions, just to kind of prove my ignorance.
mm-hmm.
If Woods County only has 140 pins, how do you get 350 entries?
Well, we will double up 2 swine per pin. With some of the swine, there will be different weights. Those swine will range everywhere from 85 pounds to 280 pounds, and so some of the bigger ones will pin single pin. And we'll all show at these smaller facilities. A lot of people will show out of the trailer. We'll back up all the way around the trailer, all the way around the building, and a lot of them have different pins in their trailer, and they'll get their animals ready out of the trailer into the show ring.
Even if you doubled up, you're 70 pins short.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess my last question is just a question for full disclosure. Do any of the board of directors of your organization or anybody associated with the organization, are they providing any of the expense items that you've listed?
No.
Okay.
No. It's a sheer organizational labor force from them.
Okay.
You said you had sponsors. How come they're not listed on your revenue?
Well, I have sponsors dedicated to each individual shows, not this show.
Oh, for your other shows, but not this one.
Yes. And also, I take that back a little bit. Northwestern and NOC, their Aggie clubs help us a little bit work the ring and manage the swine in the ring and whatnot. We basically put a link to them on our website for free for doing that. So there's no monetary value in that, that we exchanged. We basically just recognize them for their assistance in that area. So,
Are you in the future going to look for sponsorships for this?
yeah.
If you come back here?
It's a kind of a dicey thing. The livestock deal, everybody's getting hit up for sponsors, and we don't want to affect what chapters and counties are doing on their local level, asking for sponsorships for their shows. And so it's a little bit touchy about what we want to go out, and ask for. And so that's one reason we haven't done a bunch of that. It's not that we're not capable of it or see the need for that, but it is, that's one of the things. Here in the last couple of weeks, I've had some inquiries about a type of sponsor. What can we do to help out with the show? And that's something we're looking at right now. We actually haven't taken any of that money in, but we're looking at what are some ways that we could do that.
Terry, Kelly, any questions for Alan?
I don't have any questions. Thanks, good deal.
If there are no other questions, I would entertain a motion either to disapprove the request not to exceed $4,225.
So moved.
For what amount?
The amount requested.
Okay, so your motion is to approve the request for $4,225.
Not to exceed.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the request for $4,225.
Terry? Aye. Janet?
Aye.
Kelly?
Aye.
Henry?
Aye. Motion passed. Thank you, Alan, very much.
Appreciate it very much.
Have a good show,
Thank you.
and hopefully it does well.
Well, it's kind of stressful the first year, getting everything lined up to do it, but anyway, I think it'll go well.
Saturday will both be in the show.
There's a lot of interest in it. I didn't get a chance, but there's 20 counties that participate in it, so we did, I think it went good. We're centrally located for it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Alan.
I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second?
Been moved and seconded to adjourn.
Janet? Kelly?
Yes.
Yes. Henry?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion
Thank you.
passed. Thank you.